Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we are going to be checking out both the Kale and Caulifla, who have recently awakened in the World Tournament. We've read through their details. We'll read them through again, but I'm saying they are pretty good. So let's jump into their passives and leader skills. So for the Kale, on the left, Super Tech Leader, 3 key and 90% stat boost. And then for Caulifla, Super Int Type, 3 key and 90% stat boost. Can't wait till they EZA. Surely they will be like 110% leader for that typing. That'd be great. For the Super Attack, they both raise attack and defense infinitely, like their last version. But now Caulifla lowers attack and Kale lowers defense. For Kale's passive, attack and defense 160%, key +1 and 40% attack and defense to all Universe 6 category allies in the team. Great support. And she provides a 20% attack and defense to all Pure Saiyans category allies in the team as well. So Caulifla's, Kale's will all get a 60% support, which is huge. An additional attack 160%. And great chance to guard, launches an additional super attack when there is a Caulifla attack in the same turn, and additional attack defense 60% when launching a super. That is great. After receiving 6 or more attacks, and from that turn onwards, an additional attack with a high chance for it to become a super attack may be launched, which is great. So they potentially can do 4 super attacks. For Caulifla, she gets 100% attack defense, so much lower. But she doesn't rely, but instead of supporting, she gets a attack and defense 20% and critical chance plus 6% per Universe 6 category ally on the team. So her performance is tied behind the Universe 6 category team, which is quite unfortunate, I will say. But she is already locked behind having a Kale next to her anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. She's getting still a guaranteed 40% attack and defense, which is not the worst thing ever. And then if you have this Kale next to her, that's an additional 60%. So I get where they are coming from, but she definitely will cook with a full Universe 6 category, and I think she will be just fine as long as you have this Kale next to her at the very least. An additional attack plus 160%, great chance of dodging, and launch an additional super attack when there is a Kale attacking the same turn. And then she gets an additional attack defense 20% per attack evaded, up to 60%. Which is great. And then we have, after evading 6 attacks, from that turn onwards, launch an additional attack with a high chance for it to become a super attack, which is great. So they both, take advantage of their nice defensive ability really greatly. With that said, they have the same links and stuff, but with the added shattering the limit, and then their stats are... the defense could be higher, but they still need to easy aim, which is just fine. So let's jump into some gameplay and see how much they stack and whatnot. We will be running the Universe 6 category team with Caulifla as leader, because she is the best leader I got for the Universe 6, 80%. And Kale as the friend leader, 200% leader for the girls, which is good. Wanted to run the Universe 6 category team because I wanted Caulifla to be as high in attack and defense as possible. Realistically, I wouldn't use Universe 6. I would use more like Pure Saiyans, and then we can get a better leader skill. But just in this case, we'll just do Universe 6 here. So let's jump into the Legendary Freezer event, long enough event where we can see as much stacks as possible. So we're starting things off here with Caulifla on the main rotation. We got Kale in the 3rd slot here, which is just fine. As long as we got a Kale on the turn, we can get the multiple super attacks straight away with the Caulifla here. And her starting defense was almost about 200,000, which is actually not too bad under the leader circumstances. And then she has a great chance to dodge, which is it's alright. It's better than... And then with each dodge, she's getting more stats as well. So, honestly, not a bad start for turn 1. It's something that I could definitely rely on as a first slot unit. And then we have Kale here, which, yeah, for now, we'll have her as the substitute Kale for the multiple super attacks. We have Vardos in here. I just needed her another support and more Universe 6 reps in here. So, with the next rotation, turn 3, we have both the base forms together. Caulifla has shot up to 380,000. You can use that as a reference piece of what Kale's defense will be post-super, because I think the calculations are the same, because per dodge evaded is the same as when performing a super attack with the Kale. So we can kind of assume that Kale will hit that much amount of defense extra. But of course, Caulifla has the, triple super attack, or how many super attacks she did pre-hand added against the Kale, because this is Kale's first appearance, unfortunately. But, yeah, we are going to be keeping on stacking here. Their attack stat is... Kale's attack stat is definitely on the lower side compared to Caulifla. I don't know if that's because of the stacking, or just in general, she's a lower attacking statted unit because of the fact that we're using a full Universe 6. I think in most other circumstances, Kale will be your star player, and then Caulifla will be just like there to proc Kale. But for the 5th turn, we have no support this time around. 440,000 defense for Caulifla, and Kale's about 300,000. With guard, it's really nice though. The fact that she has a great chance to guard is very, very strong here. You can sometimes even put Kale in the first slot. Because she just needs to proc that RNG once, while Caulifla has to proc it multiple times. So there's more points in failure for Caulifla. But of course, you want to just put Caulifla in the first slot pretty much turn 1. I think in the later game, once you've stacked enough defense, Kale is your go-to first slot unit, which is really good. Like, the fact that they can switch spots if you want. And then because they're two different typings, they have, you know, if you're versing AGL, you put Kale instantly in the first slot, regardless. And then if you're versing Tech, then Caulifla's the first slot. I kind of like that synergy between them. For the hidden potential system, I still think that Caulifla should be max dodge. I mean, she already has crit built in, and then you can put the rest additionals just to guarantee yourself like a higher chance to get a 4 super attacks. Kale, you can still do dodge as well. You already got the 5 critical. I don't think you need to put critical on her. The damage is not that amazing, but of course, getting 4 super attacks with criticals is always good, regardless in any situation. So I think Kale you can mix around with whatever you want. And then Caulifla I think is guaranteed max dodge, because you want to make sure you get as many stats as possible. And then the rest additional, because she already has she will always have at least 12 critical if you build the team with Kale and Caulifla on the same turn. If you're by yourself, then you will only have 6. Now we have turn 7 with the Vados as the support. We're closing in 600,000 defense with Caulifla. And Kale is around 400,000 pre-super. She gets that 60%. But it doesn't include the stack, unfortunately. So it's not as high as you might seem. It wouldn't be 60% of 400,000. That'd be insane, though. So I think everybody here has the restriction covered. So Caulifla has received 6 dodges. And I believe Kale has received 6 attacks. And even though you want Kale to take hits, obviously you don't really want to take damage. She's not invincible in any sort of way. I would still go with the dodge. Even though if she dodges too much, you will take longer to get the 4 super attack potential. It's just not that big of a deal. It's only a 30% increase. You're still getting a triple super attack potential. And in this team, she's getting, 3.3 million? Something that isn't that big of a deal. Like, the gain is only 100,000 attack stats, so just don't worry about the 4th attack all too much. And focus on the survivability with the hidden potential right there. Luckily, Vados is type advantage, so we barely got us living. So from the next turn onwards... we'll have a 50% defense increase, because I just used the item Android 8 to buff up our defense. So the following turn, I am going to be using a Whis. And that is because I don't want to have any items activated for the next appearance for Kale and Caulifla, but I want to survive the full power Freezer rotation for the next turn. So that's why I activated the Whis right there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show the defense. It was, fluctuated with the Android 8. But we have 5.5 million attacks out with Caulifla. At this point, Caulifla with 6 times 7 is 42. 42% critical chance. And I don't know what critical I have already in her. I haven't changed it yet. But it's like 9-ish or something like that. With 6 million attacks, that is kind of ridiculous with 4 super attacks. It's kind of nice. I do think, though, outside of just pure free-to-play, Kale is going to be the more valuable player. You have, decent, more better Cauliflas, I think. I don't know, it's close. You have this Kale right here, but the fact that Kale is a nice support is just, universally more acceptable. Well, I guess Caulifla here will get, the Kale as a character that will fulfill a restriction, but also Kale will have the tech Caulifla to fulfill the restriction, so it's tough. Actually, it's weird, because Kale can be used more often than the tech Caulifla, technically. Actually, if you let me know in the comment section, which one do you think would be more universally used if they were by themselves, the Kale or the Caulifla? Because Kale is the free-to-play Kale has, I guess, worse options as friend use, but has a better support and is less restricted on the passive, while Caulifla has a better partner, which is Dokkan Fest exclusive Kale, but is restricted on Universe 6 for the stats. Tough call. Both have their pros and cons. But we are getting to the point now where we can tank full power Freezer, 500,000 defense, almost 800,000 defense with Caulifla. We'll put Kale in the first slot, because why not? It has the guard anyway, so. And let's see, 3 million attacks. That's just the biggest disappointment for Kale. Her growth in attack is just not as high as Caulifla will be. And that was the same pre-Dokkan Awakening as well. That's just the nature of it. The trade-off for the support right there. And Caulifla's at 5.2 without a support. And this is only with an 80% leader, by the way. Imagine double 200%. We're missing 120% stats through the leader skill, which is crazy. And I only have these girls at link level 5 right now. So there's even more stats to be gathered from the showcase. There's a lot that I am missing. Dodge the super. Great showcase. And we can get into the final phase here for the Freezer. So I wanted to put Kale in the first slot again. We had about 1 million defense with Caulifla, which is really good. Turn 13, 1 million defense with great chance to dodge is ridiculous. Definitely something that I could see happening in a red zone run, truth be told, if it was long enough. And then I just wanted to show off Kale's guarding ability, which activated, and she's going to take a super attack, but because she has guard, it's just not going to do anything, and it was post super as well. So, freebie turn. Let's see what Caulifla has in her attack stat. 6 million, and she is supported with the Vados as well. First super is a critical 3.4. Unfortunately, the high chance to super failed right there. Then the guaranteed super comes in with the... Actually, I don't know. Is the next one the hidden potential? Pretty sure it's not. I actually don't know which one's which. It's either the last one's a hidden potential or that second super potential is the hidden potential. But yeah, Vados fails us without dodging. And that's going to pretty much wrap up the showcase for the girls. I hope you guys did enjoy. They are actually really good units. The fact that they haven't Easy Aid yet is just amazing. Though the Easy Aid will take a while to get here. They are really just an amazing pair of units. And yeah, can't wait to use them more. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on. Let me know what you guys think about the Caulifla and Kale. See you guys next video as always. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace.